Today in the episode, Jeffrey Epstein files, a KGB honey trap files, revealing unprecedented amount of shocking evidence. Russia announces a ceasefire on energy infrastructure and kills civilians. 16 men murdered by the Kremlin in a multiple drone strike in Dnipro region and attacks Ukrainian positions in Kupiansk. Russia's crawling successes in Ukraine on the battlefield are costly, but more cannon fodder for Putin comes soon, from penitentiaries and immigrants. A solid fact in the Jeffrey Epstein case that many take for granted. Jeffrey Epstein, a pedophile, a financier, a rapist, and a Russian KGB asset, was found hanged in his cell in 2019. As usual, there is no better silencer but death. But also, there is no better prosecutor. Yes, it was a honey trap, and yes, it was Russian. Epstein had multiple talks with Putin before and after conviction, with Russian girls flown in to harvest Kompromat on world-famous figures. The release of more than 3 million new documents relating to the late sex offender gives credence to incendiary claims made by senior security officials that Epstein was working on behalf of Moscow when he facilitated assignations for some of the world's most powerful men. The files include 1,056 documents naming Russian President Vladimir Putin and 9,629 referring to Moscow. Epstein even seems to have secured audiences with Putin after his 2008 conviction for procuring a child for prostitution.
Today we are producing more than 3 million pages, including more than 2,000 videos and 180,000 images. In total, that means that the department produced approximately 3.5 million pages in compliance with the Act. Just a quick note about the videos and images. The 2,000 videos and 180,000 images are not all videos and images taken by Mr. Epstein or someone around him. They include large quantities of commercial pornography.
All of them are there. A picture of Woody Allen released by the U.S. authorities in December also appears to have been taken inside the same room where Prince Andrew, the former Duke of York, who has faced years of scrutiny over his past friendship with Epstein and has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing, was photographed. Bill Clinton is also connected. Donald Trump, by all means. The film director and his wife Soon-Yi Previn were reportedly regular guests at the $60 million townhouse, which Epstein used to build his connections with the rich and powerful. Jeffrey Epstein was running the world's largest honey trap operation on behalf of the KGB when he procured women for his network of associates.
What are you, class 3 sexual predator?
Tier 1.
Was tier 1's the highest and worst?
No, I'm
the lowest.
I'm the lowest.
You're the lowest. Okay, tier 1, you're the lowest. But a criminal.
Yes. The devil himself said, "I'm going to exchange some dollars for your child's life."
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
When pressed, ethics is always a complicated subject. Epstein hits back, and falsely, of course, because ethics is not a complicated thing at all. It is completely the other way around. Ethics is an extremely, terrifyingly, apparently, and completely uncomplicated thing. It either exists or it doesn't. You're either ethical in your actions or you aren't. We won't go into any further terrifying detail about Jerry Epstein's Tier 1's morality and the violence he and his henchmen peddled upwards, or should I say downwards, to tier level 2, 3, 4, 5, and how many more other tiers are there. And also, we won't speculate on the future of all those tainted by this monstrous filth, because we only seen half of it yet. So we'll watch, together, how this scandal unfolds, and how it will impact Ukraine. One thing is clear for now. It will impact everyone, one way or another, without exception. Defense forces successfully repelled an enemy attack on Kupiansk-Vuzlavi. Prisoners were captured and valuable intelligence was obtained as a result of the operation. A day before, the armed forces of Ukraine have also released footage of the site following a successful clearing operation near Kupiansk, showing the reality on the ground. Russian propagandists recently claimed to have seized an industrial facility in Kupiansk-Vuzlavi, what turned out another Kremlin fabrication. The video serves as a grim reminder of the true cost of Russia's staged victories. The same building and the same hero from the propaganda clip are shown, a one-off performer, as is often the case in the Russian military. Ukrainian defenders emphasize Kupiansk-Vuzlavi remains firmly under the control of the Ukrainian defense forces.
За моей спиной все той самый Купинск-узловый.
Behind me is the same Kupiansk-Vuzlovy. And what I like about the Russian army, instead of somehow justifying Mr. Gerasimov, today a group was sent to Kupiansk-Vuzlovy with the flags of the 153rd Tank Regiment. It is he who has the task to take Kupiansk-Vuzlovy. A sabotage group of 3 soldiers was sent with the flags of the 153rd Tank Regiment, the goal of which was to enter Kupiansk-Vuzlovy and shoot a video that Mr. Gerasimov loves. But the group was liquidated. The flags were thrown away.
SpaceX has begun blocking Starlink access on Russian drones. Elon Musk confirmed the crackdown on the unauthorized use of his satellite internet service by Russian forces. The announcement came in a response to Ukraine's Minister of Defense request. Mikhailo Fedorov stated that Kyiv continues to work closely with the SpaceX team to secure the network. This follows reports from late January that Russian troops were equipping strike drones with Starlink terminals in an attempt to bypass Ukrainian air defenses. Russia has launched a large-scale terrorist attack targeting mines in Dnipro region. The epicenter of the tragedy was in the city of Ternivka, where a drone strike hit a shuttle bus carrying miners home after their shift. 16 people have been confirmed dead. Ukraine's Minister of Defense stated that Russian forces clearly identified the target as civilian, yet made a deliberate decision to attack. A day of mourning has been declared across the Dnipro region. Russia losses between up to 25,000 soldiers killed in action every month in Ukraine. These figures were released by NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, who described the casualty rate as unacceptable for Moscow. Rutte noted that replacing these battlefield losses is becoming an increasingly difficult challenge for the Russian military. These numbers align with reports from the General Staff of Ukraine, which state that total enemy combat losses have now surpassed 1.24 million personnel. The question remains, how exactly is the Kremlin planning to replenish these mounting ranks of killed and wounded? More in the next story for you.
Russia's losses on the front are approaching a tipping point where the aggressor may face a shortage of personnel, writes Business Insider, citing experts and officials. In total, Russia's army recruits 30 to 36,000 people monthly.
With such actions, Russia demonstrates absolute nihilism toward life and the value of life. Thereby, in a sense, it feeds the narrative that was created in the Soviet Union during and after World War II, when tactical and strategic superiority of the Soviet army was built on this. When it was emphasized that human life is nothing, and the state is ready to sacrifice a large volume of its citizens.
Although Russia has a much larger mobilization reserve than Ukraine, the Kremlin has all this time tried to avoid large-scale forced mobilization. Among other things, large monetary bonuses for those who agree to fight against Ukraine. Russian authorities offer high salaries, tax benefits, debt forgiveness, and regional incentives, in some cases reaching tens of thousands of dollars.
The government offers high pay and extensive benefits to enlistees. Regional authorities offer various enlistment bonuses, sometimes amounting to tens of thousands of dollars. In the Khanty-Mansi region of central Russia, for example, an enlistee would get about $50,000 in various bonuses, according to the local government. That's more than twice the average annual income in the region, where monthly salaries in the first 10 months of 2025 were reported to be just over $1,600, from a publication by Associated Press.
After almost 4 years of fighting, the Kremlin is trying to replenish the army by any means, experts say. It offers prison release to inmates and simplified citizenship to foreigners. Recruitment does not stop for a single day.
If we talk about mobilization, we see that Russia has long been working with other sources to replenish its army's personnel. We are talking about mercenaries and active work by Russian recruiters in various countries around the world, Latin America, Asia. And this is systematic work. And it is an indicator that if they started working on this a long time ago, then Russia does not have things as good as they would like to claim with human resources.
By mass recruitment of foreign mercenaries, Russia simultaneously solves several issues for itself, analysts say. The first is replenishing personnel, the second is reducing losses among the regular army, and the third is purely pragmatic economic issues. Paying foreign mercenaries can be much less than paying Russian citizens.
What do the Russian occupiers take advantage of? The low social level of these countries, that is, the salary offered to mercenaries, about $500 to $700, is a significant argument when signing contracts. At the same time, this amount compared to the monetary allowance of Russian occupiers, recall, this is about 200,000 Russian rubles, is significantly less.
Citizens from the Asian country of Bangladesh were lured to Russia for earnings, where they were promised civilian jobs or army service far from the front line. At the same time, they were sent to perform tasks in the war in Ukraine, reports Associated Press. Russia recruits representatives of various countries to fight against Ukraine: China, Yemen, Cuba, countries of Africa, the Middle East, and Europe. According to Ukrainian intelligence, 15 to 17,000 foreign mercenaries are currently fighting in Russia's troops against Ukraine.
At the time of signing the contract, Russians do not emphasize that foreign mercenaries are precisely used as the main contingent for the so-called meat assaults. That is, those small assault groups that unsuccessfully storm the positions of Ukraine's defense forces. Moreover, it should be noted that in the Russian segment of Telegram and in Russian media, there is a sufficient number of testimonies from foreign mercenaries who say that there is no talk of any combat cohesion or any professional training.
The Kremlin also continues to bet on prisoners as expendable material in the war against Ukraine, reports Ukraine's Foreign Intelligence Service. It sends those serving sentences for serious crimes to the front, and those who return to civilian life after the front commit crimes again. According to official data alone, since 2022, Russian courts have convicted more than 8,000 participants in hostilities, about 900 of whom were tried for violent crimes. At least 423 people have died from the actions of these so-called veterans, and this is a direct consequence of the policy that substitutes justice with war. Reported by Natalia Husak, Vladimir Stenhelov, UATV News.
That's all for today's News Digest. Stay informed, stay critical. Like the video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. See you next time.